Hey everybody, I'm Jack Reed with Future Pastimes, and I am a designer on Dune-themed games and expansions. And I've done a number of videos about battle wheels and the potential future of what the battle wheel might be like, especially in the Kwisatz Haderach edition. And I've talked about the battle wheel in Tabletop Simulator and how it does a lot of the math for you. So I thought I'd do a quick video to just show people how it works. So when you load up your faction, it's going to give you a battle wheel, and this is using the Krell's mod that is in the workshop there in Tabletop Simulator. So everyone's going to get their own battle wheel, which is not normally how it works. You also don't have artwork on the back of the battle wheels like this, partially because in playtest, when you were turning the wheels, you could kind of get a sense for how far somebody was dialing by where a certain logos were. So those went away, but maybe a future battle wheel can have logos. But here's how it works in TTS because it's scripted. And furthermore, there are different types of battle wheels. So if you're the Ixians, you're going to want to have that. If you are the Emperor, you're going to have that selected because it's going to take into account the double strength forces and any other things that have to do specifically with your faction. So we're just going to go with other because this is the default here. And the way it's going to work is you are going to start by clicking on this +1 where there is currently 0. And this is how many of your forces that you are committing. So let's get an example here. I'm going to grab some forces here. And let me actually load in. Let me load in an other faction here. So we'll still use this wheel because all the wheels are essentially the same. So I'm going to get some 5 forces here. That's what I've got. I've got 5 forces, so I can dial up to a 5. And that right here, this is the number of your forces. Now in advanced, this is half strength. So that's why what we've got up here is a 2.5. And really this should say strength. This is your forces down here. Now we have a spice button. And if we click this, that's how much spice you are spending, and it automatically adjusts your strength. So if I'm dialing 5 forces and spending 3 spice, my strength is 4. That's my dial. So let's go back down here. That is all of my forces. So let's say I want to keep somebody. So 4 of my forces at half strength is 2. That makes sense. Half of 4 is 2. So if I say, yeah, I'm sacrificing 4 forces to win, and I've got 2 spice that I can spend, that gives me a total strength of 3. So this is all well and good, and if this were the only thing you had to calculate in the game, this would be pretty straightforward. Where it gets a little bit trickier is when you're using, let's say you're the Emperor. So here we're going to use the +2 because the Emperor has 2 types of forces. So let's throw in the Emperor here again, just so we have a nice visual. We're going to have some normal forces here in this battle with the Baron, and we're going to have some Sardaukar. So let's grab 3 Sardaukar as well. This is actually pretty good for the Emperor here. 5 + 3 against the 5. But it really just depends on what you're dialing and how much spice you're spending. So let's look at what a maximum dial is here. If I want to sacrifice everybody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, +1, 2, 3. My maximum dial spending no spice is 5.5, which is not super high. But if I'm going to spend spice, it's going to adjust that for me. So, boom, 8.5. That's if I've spent 3 spice and I've dialed everybody. Now, normally you don't want to dial everybody. You want to leave somebody behind. And let's say that I've got 5 and I've got 3, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to sacrifice 4 of those, 2 of those. That's a strength of 4 with no spice, and I've got 5 spice that I can spend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That lets me know 7.5 is now my battle strength in this battle. And if I win, I'm going to have 1 Sardaukar and 1 normal force left over. So because that's what I've dialed here. it's going to do that math for me, which is nice. Now we see some other examples with the Fremen. Fremen, the spice goes off because they don't have to pay. So if they're sacrificing 5 normal and 2 Fedaykin, their strength is 9. This is like basic, except with starred forces. So that's the easiest one to calculate. And then we have the Ixians. So they've got the suboids, which are halves. That does this also automatically. The scripting here is fabulous. So I've got 3 suboids. That's only giving me half strength, but I've got a couple of these guys as well, and I'm going to spend 1 spice. That's a 3. This is what my starting HMS force line up there. So if I'm maxing everybody out and spending 1 spice, 5.5, that's the best I can do. But I want to leave 1 suboid behind so that I can sacrifice that surviving suboid to keep one of my cyborgs in there. That's a much better deal. And if I only have 1 spice, whatever, and that's really as high as I can go, because as you can see, it resets to 0. You can't spice up the suboids. You can only spice up the cyborg. So that's my maximum dial there, 7, to have 1 suboid left over in that example. So as you can see, it's really nice because it does all the calculating for you. You just got to make sure that you are all set there if you're other. Now you can turn this off if you're just playing basic. So it's 4 forces, 4 strength. That's pretty straightforward. And then now it dropped me back down to 2 because they're all half strength. I'm going to spend 2 spice. It gives me 3 strength there. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. But this is in the Tabletop Simulator workshop, the mod for Dune. And it's very good. It does all this calculating for you. Trying to create one of these in real life has been a little bit more challenging. So there we have it. That is it for this one, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.